You've probably heard of No Shave November, but what about No Heat November? Sure, New Englanders can be stubborn when it comes to dealing with the cold, but maybe none more so than this guy. Meet Coventry resident Brian Chevalier. It's a rarity to find the thermostat on in his house this month, and quite often, the same has remained true well into December.
What's the longest you were able to make it without turning on the heat?
Last year, December 23rd. That was my Christmas present to myself.
What's the earliest you've had to throw in the towel, or I guess maybe I should say throw in the blanket?
Well, 2019, it was November 14th.
It's a little chilly in here for me. I'm wearing the big puffy coat here. You've got a sweatshirt on, you've got a hat on. Something tells me that you've sort of acclimated.
So I didn't have a choice but to acclimate because it got cold pretty early this month. I think November 2nd, I was already in the 40s. I could see my breath in the house.
What's the coldest it's ever gotten in the house?
Got down to 34. The house didn't warm up that much. I couldn't risk it on the pipes.
Let's jump to the pipes. You ever worried about them freezing, and do you have some ways to maybe sort of bend the rules a little bit?
Well, turn on the heat even to conserve the pipes. That's against the rules. So what you can do to help prevent freezing the pipes is put them on the drip, and that'll keep the water flowing and make it more difficult to freeze.
Chevalier, a weather enthusiast and self-professed social meteorologist, has been attempting to outlast Jack Frost for the past 4 years. He even keeps a detailed scorecard for each day of his heatless journey.
Some would call your dedication to conserving heat frugalness. Others might go as far as maybe even lunacy. How would you characterize it?
I would characterize it as both.
What inspired you to do this in the first place?
10, 15 years ago, I was living in a different place and I had electric baseboard heat, and it wasn't very efficient. My electric bill would come in, it would be $400 to be cold, and so I thought, well, what if I just don't crank it up, put an extra couple layers on, and spend $100 a month on heat instead? I just couldn't afford it.
Any other little tips, tricks, tidbits of how you can, beat the heat, so to speak?
It really boils down to layers. The other thing that helps get me through is my decaf coffee.
Now, so far this November, temperatures here across southern New England have been about 3 to 4 degrees colder than average, which is a big difference from last year where it was on the warmer side. Given, though, that Chevalier has already made it this far, and with an El Nino pattern shaping up that could mean a warmer winter for us, there's no telling how long he could go this time. You think there's ever a chance he'll be able to make it through the entire winter?
Probably not the entire winter. This year I'm shooting for Christmas. I got to beat last year's record, and time will tell. It's Mother Nature's going to determine how far I get, but anything's possible.
Jeff Banson, ABC6 News.